Welcome back to Warlord Radio. Today we have a very special guest. We have the infamous and notorious Richard fucking Haskins. I don't know. I think I could do better.
I think most women feel like that.
Women, men, certain dogs and cats.
So our buddy Richard here is pretty infamous here in the Denton area. So his current project is the Wee-Beasties. How would you classify the Wee-Beasties? When people ask the $1 million question, well, what's your band sound like?
Yeah, that's a hard...
it's fucking horrible.
Question.
It's fucking horrible.
I want to. What I want to be is I want to be if Black Flag had Chicago's horn section. That's what I want to be. We don't get that close to that.
I think our goals though. Those are two solid ones.
It's a lot of it's mostly. I mean, the music's cool and we're like writing a lot of new stuff too, but it's mostly a fucking train wreck.
Well, you had like this revolving door of musicians in your band. Because you started. Not many people out here know this.
Yeah, actually, what day is it today?
Today is the 10th?
10th?
Yeah, December
Okay,
10th.
in 6 days, that'll be our first show.
Really?
20
years
ago.
First show.
Nice.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
man.
because you guys started, like I said, not many people know this. I've known you since like 5th grade or some shit like
I was
that.
actually thinking about you earlier today because I knew that that would probably come up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that even before Wee-Beasties, when I had a band called Devilock, and it was like a 3-piece like hardcore band. I remember we played. My buddy's dad like rented out the Civic Center.
Oh yeah, I played that show.
And
that's
I remember you let us use your bass amp.
Yeah,
like,
I do. Yeah,
like,
I remember
that was an actual.
That was when Chris
Billy
was playing for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even know why because he didn't actually play.
Yeah,
he was like a Sid Vicious. Like it was just kind of like. Just make noises, and it's just
the first band I ever played bass in was with Richard. It was called Schizo.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We played one fucking show like at our school and didn't even get all the way through our set because you pissed somebody off.
So nothing has changed.
Not much.
It's always been kind of it's weird now, especially as I get older. Like it's like. I'm known for being confrontational, but it's like I don't really.
So warm
but I don't actually think of it like that, though. You know what I mean? But like in the show context, the second when I walk into the fucking venue, it's like the character is on. You know what I mean? It's like it's not. And then so when they just see me at shows, they think that like that's how I am.
Right.
And that's not true.
No, I'm a
couldn't be
total pussy.
Yeah. I don't even call you a pussy. You're nicer.
It's like I'm the dude that'll like totally fuck ruin your clothes and like just like fuck fucking piss you off, spill all your drinks, and then the should be like, dude, are you okay? I'm so sorry. Like so it's like. So it's there's that dichotomy.
That's why me and you were still friends. Because if you knock a beer out of my hand, I'm gonna trick you, and I don't give a fuck if you're playing or not. I'll go up and order 6 beers on your tab.
Right?
Oh my god, dude, I've had that happen. Oh god, dude.
I've done that to you.
Dude, a lot of people have. It's like at the end of the night where you're like, Richard, oh god, I remember one night. I swear to God, we played it like 10 years ago. We played it when Public House first opened.
Yeah.
And we played there, and it was 25-cent well night. No shit.
Which is evil. Like, no bar should be allowed to do that.
Without exaggeration, at the end of the night, my bar tab was $850 fucking dollars. I bought everybody. There's like 500 people there. I brought everybody in there a shot twice, and multiple bottles of like fucking Patron. I mean, it was like fucked, dude. And then, so at the end of the night, we're like.
How is this possible?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math. I'm like 25 cents going into $850. Like trying to figure that out. And then it was like, but they were supposed to pay us $350. And then like, I was just like, so you're gonna have to comp this.
Yeah.
And they were like,
we can't comp an $850 tab.
We can't comp this. And then like I actually had to go. Me and Matt Pohl and somebody else. I think Chris Hokamp, we like went up the stairs to go to like to the office, and it was like a fucking scene out of like a mafia movie. They're like giving us cigars, and they're like, so what are we gonna do about this? And like, and I'm drunk as a skunk. I'm like, well, you're just gonna have to comp it, or my band's never playing here again. And so finally they do end up comping the $850 tab, and I go, you still owe us $350.
Oh my God.
They actually paid us though. They still paid. I couldn't believe it.
The balls on you, dude. Jesus Christ.
I've done that.
I love it.
Admittedly, I'm not. There's a few banks I'm actually allowed in nowadays, but
we'll get to that.
But I will say that the last time I had overdraft fees, I did the exact same thing. I was like, you're just gonna have to get rid of these.
Just gonna have to get rid
and
of
they're
these.
like, we can't. And I was like, this is just ridiculous. You're just gonna have to, or I'm just not gonna do business here anymore.
It's amazing.
And they just
how
actually
well
just
that
did
works.
it. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
No, the first time
I won't put my $200 in here anymore.
I'm taking it. I want that cash.
I want my $14. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's amazing what you can get if you just ask for it.
Yeah.
Or threaten to fucking go.
Yeah.
No, I had a bank manager come completely fucking unglued on me. He pissed me off. Something about a car loan or something. Yeah, I know you did. Again, that's a story. But no, I had like some car loan going on, and like my wife at the time spent like all week warning these people like, you don't want Carrick to come down here. Like, you fucking don't. And then finally, when I did come down there, I was just like, cancel the car loan, pull all my money out of this fucking bank. I'm done with you guys. And then the manager like walked in and was just like, what can we do to help? And I was like, you're gonna go get me a fucking car. I was mad. God, I was mad. Anyway,
nice.
So this podcast is sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Right.
I wish. Shit.
Right.
Please send us money.
You probably just got us yanked off internet.
Oh. But so
This first one's for free, Pabst. The
Right.
second one's gonna cost you.
So let's talk about the banks that you can't go into. One of the reasons that you're so notorious.
I'm not allowed to go into Wells Fargo actually ever again.
Nice.
According
Like any of them?
And I thought it was just the one, but
No.
it turns out it's like
It's all
of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want
wonder
to talk
if-
about
do you
what you did?
Do you think they have like a wanted poster of you, like with a circle? Going
I don't know, but I know that I'm on a list because I even tried to like open an account online one time through them, and then it was
And they just like
it was
came up
like-
flashing red
it was
lights.
just like-
Absolutely not.
It was like, no.
They just sent you back an email.
Which
It's
is funny
like, you
'cause-
think this is a fucking game?
Which is funny because the Wee-Beasties like our like business account is in Wells Fargo, and that was like why the manager did it. It's like, well, Richard won't be able to get a hold of any of the money. You know, we just have to. You know, what I
That's
mean?
actually genius.
Yeah, it's totally genius. Because that's another terrible thing is sometimes like they like pay at the end of the fucking show,
Right.
and I'm just usually I tell them beforehand. I'm like, do not hand me fucking money
Right.
like, at the end of the fucking show.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be so drunk. I'm either gonna
Spend it
spend it
or
on
whatever.
drugs or who knows? You just wake up and you're like fucking got a cowboy hat on. You have no idea what happened.
Right.
You know. So yes, it's like, do not even hand me money. At
Yeah,
the fucking
that's
show.
why
Right.
you have a manager.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephanie, she's
Yeah.
so great.
Shout
yeah.
out.
Shout out, Steph.
Stephanie, yeah. Stephanie
She's a
Holloway.
lovely human
All the
being.
way Holloway.
All the way
There you
all the way. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God! When I took her to, she drove me up to my dad's. He's been real sick, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, it's all right. But she drove me up, and because it was weird because we'd been engaged on I get engaged on Facebook like pretty,
All the time.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pretty regularly to different
I
people.
think you and I have been engaged
Yeah,
before.
probably, yeah. And so when I remember when she went and met my stepmom, we were hanging out, and then my stepmom, I guess, thought that we were dating or something. And so, like, Stephanie, like, went in back to the house. We were sitting out back smoking cigarettes. And not Stephanie, she doesn't smoke, but me and my stepmom were. Stephanie goes back in the house, like, make a drink or go to the bathroom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My stepmom was like, so, like, are y'all, like, dating? And I was like, no, she fucks everybody in the band. And she just had this, like, horrified look on her face. And she was like, really? And I was like,
Totally.
I was like, yeah, we're totally cool with it. She's like, all of you? I was like, all of us.
There's like 8 people.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
many people do you have in the band right now?
Currently, there's 8 of us.
Yeah.
Currently, there is 8. I think we peaked out at 12 at one point. And that was just like,
Is
honestly,
that when you had Crystal just up there screaming?
that was probably when we had 12 because we had her. We also had a trombone at the time too, and then because
Because I feel like there was more than 8 in the band when we played with you. At
there
Rubber
would
Gloves.
have been 9 of us then.
Yeah, the Wee-Beasties descend upon bars.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
inside, baby, with my flashlight. Flashlight. Wanna feel your inside, baby, with my flashlight. Flashlight. Wanna feel your inside, baby, with my flashlight. Yeah, sound guys hate us.
Yeah.
Because they're like thinking like, especially when we're playing like a punk show or like.
They're used to like 3 pieces.
A metal show usually is pretty. I mean, you know, a lot of times you have the fucking, the drum triggers and stuff.
Right.
So you got a lot of stuff going on. But
yeah.
we're playing a punk show.
Yeah, there's
like,
two inputs.
they're used to. They're just used to just like.
They just like mic a talk boy in the PA system.
Yeah, and then so. But then with us, they're like, wait, how many fucking trumpet players do you have? You know, they fucking like confused, and then you're like, then you're having to tell them too, like, don't mix us like a fucking ska band.
Yeah.
You know, like the horns like way up front. You know, it's like
guitars.
It's guitar driven, but the horns should be like basically just a hair above guitar level. You know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, because like I was in a ska band for a while.
Yeah.
And like. Our horns were always so hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way bigger than it.
So
It was the hot and the bass, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean with ska, that's like pretty standard. You know, you want those horns right up front, but like
that's not really.
It doesn't sound like we're a punk rock band.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But like we've never like. It's weird though, because like when we first were starting off like doing shows and stuff, they would always have us at like. They would stick us with ska bands. And the ska bands hated us.
Right.
Because they're like, these dudes are not a fucking ska band.
Right.
You know? And then they'd stick us with punk bands, and then the punk bands were like, these dudes are not a fucking punk band. So we're kind of like stuck in the fucking middle for like the longest time, and I think after we earned like a pretty gnarly reputation, it kind of sort
Well, you earned a gnarly reputation all over the fucking planet at this point.
I was great playing with you guys at Gloves too, because I think Haley's is the club I've been banned from the most, or was, it's not around anymore, but I think Gloves is definitely second. Gloves or Andy's.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got kicked out of Andy's a lot, but you were always back at Andy's.
The next day!
Yeah, I know.
The next fucking day!
Like, and the crazy thing is, like, for those of you guys that don't know this, like, as far as locally goes, and I mean, you guys have a pretty good following everywhere you go, but locally, like, you're one of the biggest pulls around.
Man, and I appreciate that. And, one thing I will say is, like, I think that's changed. I mean, even with the exception of COVID, I mean, I remember, like, there's just not that, I mean, like...
There's nothing nuts to butts, like, fucking people sweating on each other.
When we were, like, really drawing heavy, like, several years ago, it was like, we'd bring 400 or 500 fucking people every fucking time we played.
And you guys played a lot.
And, a lot. And it was like, and then it's just like, I mean, everything has a cyclical kind of a thing to it. So, your band's not always going to be pulling like that, but it's weird because like I just noticed that like over the last few years it just seems like it, mostly in Denton I've noticed it, where it just seems like it's not people aren't going out to shows like they used to. I mean, even again before COVID.
Even before COVID. And I agree. Well,
are there even bands in the high schools that are like
I agree with you for the Denton scene.
Yeah, for sure. Dallas is so different. Yeah. We'll bring more people in Dallas than we'll bring in fucking Denton. Yeah, same thing with Austin. Same thing. Oklahoma City will. It's crazy.
And so that's what that I've experienced is that kind of like what Carrick said is that different scenes will go through different periods. Because I remember like when we first started trying to
our scene
play
is definitely
Denton,
on the fucking rag.
Which was like 2006-ish is when we started to try to break into Denton. And it was like next to impossible because there
were no metal bands.
It's like we would be like, well, what do you play? Metal? No. Like every place, no. So it's like we had to break through with like house parties and like underground like punk venues and stuff like that.
That's a good thing to do, man. Like play 2 house shows and then like a month later play a club. Yeah. And you'll notice
everybody from those house shows will come out
immediately, especially in a college town.
But it took a while to like get in, and then like it kind of like upswing where we'd see like more and more like-minded bands, and then after a while it'd be like, oh cool, now there's newer, younger bands breaking out, and then it started to kind of like taper off again.
Taper off a bit.
And it's like
I do. I take credit for a little bit of the metal scene here because when Diesel Beast started, there was only I Am Man, I Am Monster, and Rod Obsidian. That was like it.
Yeah.
And then we started, and we were a little bit more accessible. And so, like, all these people started to come out to our shows, but we kept playing with I Am Man, I Am Monster, and Rod of Obsidian over and over and over again. Yeah. So they became fans of those guys. And then all of a sudden, like, all these other metal bands started to pop up around here.
Well, also, like...
I take a little bit of credit. I'm not saying I single-handedly changed the fucking scene.
No, it's true. I mean, look, consistency is a big thing. And it
doesn't take but a couple of personalities to make a whole scene happen, though. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
true.
It really, I mean, like, a lot of it is just, like, once you're making something happen... You know,
but that's just it. Is that you got to be out there. You got to be gigging. Sure. You got to be like putting on shows.
Do it yourself.
Yes.
Do it yourself.
If you do that, then stuff can spring up and you can come across opportunities.
For sure.
But like you know, some bands, even like really good bands that I really like, is they'll play a couple of times a year, or they'll take a couple of years off. Which I understand. Look, shit happens. Like you know, I totally understand. I'm just saying. Is that greatly diminishes your chances of building an audience.
Sometimes if you already have a rabid fan base and then you disappear and then you do like a big comeback show, like that show can be
but
nuts.
we're not talking about that.
I think one thing that we always like tried to do
was tell everybody that every show was your last show.
That actually it works sometimes.
It works like a fucking charm.
That's great.
But
every tour is a farewell tour.
Even just that idea though, like for like a long time, it was never just like we would never advertise a show like, oh, it's Wee-Beasties here, you know,
right?
Because like what the
No, you guys would put up
turn
a
it
flyer
into like a
whole.
We would turn it into a whole event. Like it would be like I remember I remember we booked a show at Andy's once, and it was like the Saturday, like just the day before Mother's Day, and like we were like fucking like, you know, how are we gonna draw like on this, you know? And so I remember Matt Pohl was like, let's turn it into MILFest. Like, let's have like a hot mom.
I could hear him fucking saying that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, just turn it into MILFest, bro.
And so like we turned it into like this hot mom. It got turned into a hot mom beauty pageant.
I remember that.
It got protested by a church like during the day.
I was working.
Like it was fucking insane, and it just like was totally like. We sold out all 3 floors back before Andy's. The upstairs was still Andy's.
No, I was the bouncer.
We sold out all 3 fucking floors, and like we sold them out of every flavor and brand of vodka.
Yeah, that's.
And I remember that was a thing. And Andy's like at the end of the night was like, we were supposed to pay you guys like $500. Here's like $1,500.
Yeah.
They were like.
But I mean, like Richard will do things on stage, especially at Andy's, where he doesn't give a fuck about getting kicked out because they'll just let him back in.
Shit.
But Richard just pours beer on the crowd. He excites everybody to fucking not just drink, but get drunk.
Yeah, like robe and orgy.
The thing is like, you have a lot of power when you have that microphone in your hand.
You do.
You know, you're like, more power than you even know that you have.
Oh, yeah.
But it's all psychology. You know what I mean? It's all like, how do I get these people to react in this way? And the name of the game really is like, it sucks too, because on one level, we're alcohol salesmen.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
All bands
we are.
Really
you know,
are,
I mean, it sucks when you're playing in clubs. You know, I don't understand how those fucking straight edge dudes made any goddamn money, or if they ever did. But it's like
I don't think they. I'm not aware of any really big straight edge.
Yeah. I mean, but it was one of So your job is to have an ass every 18 fucking inches. You know what I mean? Fucking get them to drink as much as possible and have such a good goddamn time that they want to come back next time and bring their friends with them.
Yeah.
You know, and so as long as you can do all 3 of those fucking things, you're set.
But you're right. It's it's a psychological game. You're and it's not just a one-on-one thing. You have you're in charge of 500 people, and you have to make them do your bidding. I guess you know what I mean. And that's the name of the game.
I remember one of my favorite things we ever did on stage, as far as the psychology thing goes. Remember Fat McGarris?
I do. I remember Fat.
Man. He's doing great right now. He's working out at MediaTek and teaching a ton of.
Fat
actually just got a gold record.
So Fat used to work at Black Bottle Records, which is that sticker that's on the base right
holy
there.
Holy fuck, dude!
Yeah.
I used to have a studio on the square.
Okay.
Yeah, but him and Jason Rochester from Diesel Beast and Fat, they ran that place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember a couple years after that, Fat had started up this record. He had one of those CD towers, burning. You just burn a shitload of CD, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, it was about to be our first, we were only doing like 2 or 3 dates of like Warped Tour. It was like it was a big deal for us.
Yeah?
It was like our first one. And
Big fucking deal, man.
And so we were like, fuck yeah, you know. And so I was like, fuck, we gotta put a record out. We gotta at least an EP or something. You know, it was like a couple months away. And so we had a show like a couple weeks before, and Fat had just put our record out. And so it was him and this other huge black dude that were just like hanging out at the merch stand, and like it was just besides fucking Seth
Malloy.
Yeah. They were like so. We were gonna cover "Fuck the Police" from NWA, so I was like, "Hey, Fat," I said, "Hey, nobody here is gonna know who you guys are. Like, don't stand at the merch booth. Let's get some other people here. Just be hanging out, right?" And then when we start, every fucking other word in that fucking song is an N-bomb.
Yeah, no.
And so I was like,
just act pissed off.
So I was like, so when we're like in the middle of the first verse, dude, and so here's what the audience sees. Right. The audience sees is like we're these white kids like covering this fucking NWA song, and all of a sudden these 2 huge black dudes come up on stage and stop us. Fat grabs the microphone and he's like, "How you gonna be up here saying nigga?" And I'm like, so now I'm like, dude, that's the lyrics in the song. Like, I'm not just saying it, you know. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's how this goes. Yeah. You know. And then like Seth actually came up because he wasn't in on it.
He didn't know. Seth is the sweetest dude. He's like
trying to defend me. He's like W, you know, he's talking about cops and stuff like that. Like so like. People are like getting really what the fuck is about to happen? I didn't tell half the guys in the band that this was going to happen too because I wanted it to look real. I didn't want people to be like cheesing and shit.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like Fat just hauls off and slaps the piss out of me, and I fall into our horn section.
I remember this.
There's like girls screaming, like security's like rushing the stage, and all of a sudden Fat picks up the mic and it's like, 1, 2, 3, go!
Fuck the song. I remember
that. Immediately in the band, like. I told the drummer and the bass player about it. And so, all of a sudden, then everybody's like, oh! It looks so insane, you know? It's like before everybody could just fucking film shit like on their, their
I remember that show.
But I mean, I love the psychology of just fucking with the crowd.
That's great.
It's just like,
well, that's a big part. I mean, that's kind of the art of being a frontman.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that's one of the things that is intangible about the job because. In finding a singer or whatever it's more than just can you sing
almost
this?
Anybody can sing. Being a frontman is a whole different
you need presence.
Oh yeah.
You need bits.
And let me tell you, dude, when I first started playing, and I mean, Carrick will tell you this too. I sang with my eyes closed for the longest time. Like I was so fucking goddamn afraid of the audience until I fucking went and saw a band called Kid Chaos. They ended up becoming the Riverboat Gamblers later.
Okay.
You remember that band? And like. But I just remember, like, the singer just being and seeing something like that in person, like, the singer just being so fucking insane. And, like, the first time I saw them, Mike Wee-Beasties, their singer, he didn't stage dive. The crowd was so thick, he walked across the crowd.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, immediately, that's why Matt Pohl joined our band.
Yep. Because he was an Air Ninja at the time.
Yeah, Matt Pohl joined our band because I was like, I don't want to be stuck behind this guitar because it's like, it's impossible to like do anything, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, look, it works for some people. A lot of respect for guys that can like be the main singer and
if
play
you could do both, that's a whole other
play
fucking
guitar.
animal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I've only known a handful of guys that do that. My dad's one of them, believe it or not.
And that's awesomeness. And some of my favorite bands do that. Metallica, Megadeth, etc. But I do like it when a band has a dedicated front person.
I agree.
And that person is able to create a show out of it.
I feel, man. I have to play bass and sing. Like that shit's difficult.
Yeah. I'll play anything and singing. Like
I've thought about that too, because I mean, like I've always been a rhythm. I mean, I can play lead, but like I've always been like the songwriter. Like I write everything that Wee-Beasties has ever done, and so like. And for that many people, it's difficult too, because and it's and then you're having to communicate with a bunch of different types of musicians too, because you're like, well, this guy knows all this fucking theory, and then this dude's like a punk rocker, Right. It's just like you're having to like.
You have to put all that in your back
You're
pocket
having to
like
figure out how to just talk to everybody, and so but yeah, I mean that aspect of like playing and being technically sound versus the show, because I mean like when we played at Gloves. I remember with you guys, one of the craziest fucking moments was when Kyle our lead guitar player, he was so fucking drunk that he
fall over.
He fell backwards through that curtain.
Yeah.
And when he came back, he no longer had a guitar with him.
Yeah.
And then just started air guitaring.
Right.
And it was like one of the coolest fucking things like in the show.
It was great. It's like, wait, did he plan that?
You know what I'm saying?
Clearly not.
No. But it's it's equal parts like, knowing what you're doing, like the pre-plan, but also having the ability to adapt to any given situation.
You have so much experience that when something like that happens, it doesn't derail the whole show.
Yeah, because if he'd have been like, what the fuck, like, where, that wouldn't have been cool at all. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, this guy's an asshole. But the fact that he just like didn't miss a beat and started air guitaring.
I started watching it. I was like, where the fuck did his guitar go? He fell, but it was still strapped to him.
I'd been backstage earlier and. I straight up spilled a full beer into like his fucking cabinet, so when he fell back, I was back there. You know what I mean? And so when he fell back, I was like, because he came back he was trying to check on his amp and then just fell, and then as he fell, I was like, someone spilled beer in your amp. And then like he just dropped his guitar and jumped back out and started air guitaring, and I was dumbfounded. I was like, "This is amazing!"
That's incredible.
We don't know who did it. Someone's spilled beer in
Shit like that, though, is the reason that I think that live music will never go out of style.
No, man.
Live performance is so unpredictable and fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten in fights on stage before. Yeah. Like
I mean, you gotta think there's also like an innate human like need for it. I mean, like maybe not as much in Denton because every fucking asshole's got 3 or 4 fucking guitars. You know what I mean? Like. But
what, do you have 3 or 4 guitars?
When I go to like up to Sherman or anything like, or even like just hang out and just chill anywhere, like if you have a guitar, people will be like, "Would you play me some songs?" But if I had my like demo with me, nobody'd be like, "Let me hear your demo." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
They want the fucking live thing. What can you actually do?
Yeah, and it's amazing to see like how differently people react. Because I mean, I could cut the world's fucking greatest album, you know what I mean? And I could hand it off to 10 people, right? 5 of them will actually listen to it.
Yeah.
However, if 10 people are at the same show that I'm playing, all 10 people are going to watch this fucking show. Right.
Well, another thing I always did with Wee-Beasties, because we had so many people in the band, it'd be like, especially when there's 10 of us, I remember telling...
We are going to need more beer.
I remember telling everybody, I was like, your job is each of you just get 10 people to show up.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like with 10 of us, it was like, we're going to have 100 people every fucking time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And usually it was way more than that, but like if you just get 10 fucking people to play, to come. Mm-hmm. And
no, and even that way, like the specific people that do bring those people, they now feel like they're part of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, you want to make it feel like
you're in on the club.
Like the worst fucking thing ever is like when I'll see like on Facebook or like Twitter or whatever, like when a band's playing a show and the fucking singer or the guitar player from the band's like, "Hey, where the fuck's everybody at?"
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like,
just play the fucking show.
You're like, dude, it would be so much more effective to be like, "Oh my god, dude, this is so awesome! Like, I can't believe this cool crowd." You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like to make it seem like, dude, these 5 people fucking have it on lock, dude. This is the most energetic 5 people I've ever fucking seen. This is the greatest goddamn show.
Yeah, even if you're not even dealing with numbers, it's like a fucking it's like going on a date with asking a girl on a date.
I'm not good at that either.
If you're like, "Can you please come on a date?" It's like, what the fuck? But if it's like, dude, you're not gonna want to fucking miss this. This is gonna be awesome. Yep. Like, and it's like now you want to be there. You know what I mean? Like now, it's again the psychology.
It's inclusive. At that point.
Well, going along with that is like my pet peeve is live when bands will complain about the audience on stage.
On stage, like what a fucking dickhead, man.
And that always just like blows my mind.
I'm like, no, man, thank Timmy's mom for coming out tonight. You're a fucking rad bitch, Timmy's mom.
Dude, my favorite thing is like, don't complain about the whole audience, but like roast like a couple people.
Well, yeah, but that's you're having fun with it. But you know what I mean?
Like if I'm playing for 6 people, like I'll sit there and like banter back and forth with those 6 people. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, Matt Pole's here and his fucking eyes are crossed, so that means he had a lot of fucking shots. So we've talked about Matt Pohl a couple of times tonight, and I feel like I can't.
I love
because
that dude.
This story started with you, but when I was a bouncer at Andy's, and like Matt was before COVID hit, was training to be a pro wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, and they did this just to freak me out.
I forgot about this.
I walk downstairs, and Matt gives him a work punch, which is, it's not a real potato.
But
But
it
it's like,
sounds like
it sounds like
It
a
still
real
hits.
punch.
It
Yeah,
sounds and it looks
still
like
impact. But like, he hits Richard. Richard sells it, falls back into me. I grab Richard with one hand. I was like, no, we're not doing this tonight. And then they both start laughing at me like a fucking idiot. So the other day I'm at Cletus's, and Matt happens to be there, and we're both drunker than shit, and we sit there. I don't know how we even got the idea to do this, but we sit 2 chairs in the middle of the room. We start doing rock, paper, scissors, and then hit each other with work punches. And the whole fucking bar is just like, what the hell is going on over here?
What is happening?
It sounds so nice.
It sounds so good. Because, I mean, what you do, like, I don't want to give away a whole bunch of secrets, but, like, you don't fully make contact with the face. You know what I mean?
And also part of it is, like, making contact with the chest.
With the chest, yeah.
Well, you both got to sell it. It's like you
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
sell the
sure.
punch, and then you got to sell the hit.
And we
So
were.
even though you're mostly getting hit in the chest, you have to sell the face. Because,
Right.
like, when it happens that fast, people are like, what? Oh, my God. You know,
And it sounds
you
so
know,
real. You know what I mean?
you know,
Because you're making contact.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just not making contact dead in the face.
And the way it looks is that it looks like you're getting cracked in the face.
But
Oh,
what's
dude,
funny
yeah.
as shit is that the bartender knew what we were doing, so he was just sitting there like
laughing.
reading a magazine and shit.
So everyone else is seeing, like, this bartender just chill while these 2 dudes are just punching the shit.
And we're like, rock, paper, scissors, shoot, fuck, whack, and just take one in the face. And then the last one I hit him with, and he didn't say a fucking word to me about this, but the last one I got him with, I do the punch, and he like stumbles backwards out the door and then just leaves. Just fucking leaves. Like, yeah. But that's my Matt Pohl story, dude. We were dude, everybody in that bar thought me and him were just slugging each other in the fucking face. It was so worth every second of it.
The
you
way
know what I mean?
the way I met Matt was I was passing out fucking
Flyers.
for my fucking birthday party.
Uh-huh.
Like, when I was like, a
Yeah,
freshman in
when
high
a
school.
freshman in high school.
And I was gonna show a trauma movie. Like, that was the whole thing.
Do you remember which one?
Trauma's
like
War.
toxic- Trauma's War? Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
and Matt got one of these, and I didn't know who the fuck he was, and like, in fact, I was pretty sure he didn't like me, like, but.
Matt doesn't seem to like anybody at first, really.
Yeah, and I remember he fucking. Him and Robbie Myers like came to my party and like they didn't know what to get me, so they had gone to fucking. They went to PetSmart and just brought me like a box of like several like white mice, and I was like, God damn it! Like I was so pissed. It was now I had to like go out, like it was a chore. Like I had to go.
Yeah,
buy,
I gotta
like,
go take care of these
like
mice.
buy like a cage and stuff. It was a fucking. And then they kept breeding. And then like 30 mice at one point, and I'm like, what the fuck? So they don't live in the Loma Del Rey apartments.
I remember that.
So I was like, fuck. So I just like let them go. One day it's like, you're free. You know, I'll be damned. Those mice like had a fucking breeding colony that lived underneath Loma Del Rey. Just white mice just running around.
You created a fucking ecosystem out of sheer punk rock.
Yes. Dude, and I remember, I had let them go because you're not supposed to do this, guys, if you're watching at home.
You're not supposed to do a lot of shit Richard does,
Yeah.
actually.
I had half the mice, I would get them high, like with pot. I'd put them in a Wendy's cup and just blow smoke through the straw.
That's so fucking horrible.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Well, then the other ones, I'd give them water that I'd put Adderall in.
God damn it.
And then one day I woke up and the Adderall mice had like eaten like a significant portion of, the weed mice. Because they were just chilling.
So you got these, you twacked out these mice and they were just like, eat the hippies.
Yeah, pretty much that's what happened. And then I was like, I gotta let these motherfuckers go. And
So you let a bunch of rabid Adderall
mice
addicted
go.
mice.
I let a bunch. It wasn't just that I let mice go. I let Adderall addicted mice go.
I'm pretty sure that is the beginning of a horror movie that's out there.
Yeah.
Serious, yeah.
And that's how COVID happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Now you know.
yeah.
Oh
Alright,
my
so
God.
shifting gears real quick.
That sounds like such a made-up story, but I know you well enough to know that that's not
Is it
made
God's
up at
honest
all.
truth?
I'm curious, like, who are some of your favorite frontmen?
Oh man, that's Iggy Pop.
Yeah, that's a good fucking answer.
Iggy Pop. Who was that motherfucker from the MC5? Was it Sonic Smith?
Yeah.
No,
MC5 was
Wayne Kramer. Yeah.
Who was it?
Wayne Kramer.
I thought
Kramer?
Fred Sonic Smith was. I can't remember who it can't be that. But honestly, even just on the local level, I'll say Mike Wee-Beasties.
Yeah, Mike Weeby from Kid Chaos.
On just
yeah.
the Texas level, Sabrina
Riverboat
C.
Gambler.
Ellis from a band called A Giant Dog. I saw her on stage, and I was like, "What in the ever living fuck?" I've never seen a chick do that on stage.
What'd she do? I've never heard of that band.
Dude, A Giant Dog. It's a kind of a trip. I went and saw them. They were playing Thin Line,
Okay.
and
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Thin Line's a
And-
huge film festival we throw locally, yeah, and like they have bands and all kinds of wild
So
stuff.
I'm a huge fan of this band, and I found out they were playing at Dan's, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta go see them." So I show up, and I'm like such a fanboy, and I'd never contacted or met anybody in that band at all, and like I come to the front of the fucking stage, and I'm like, I'm their guitar player. I like know everybody's names of the band because I'm like
A
a
fan.
fan, a fucking
Yeah.
you know. And I'm like, I love you, Andrew. I love you, Sabrina. And like, their guitar player just looks down and goes, Richard Haskins, and I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
I was like, how the fuck does it, after the show, I was like, dude, we listened to your band. I was like, holy fucking shit, I couldn't believe it.
That's how I felt when the lead singer
We
of
started
Goblin
so
told me,
much
yeah.
cocaine that night. It was, it was amazing.
Yeah,
Like, just in
man.
front of God and everybody. I didn't, like, even care. I was like, it was
It's for
probably,
you, Jesus.
yeah, it was great. And, so she's great. Glenn Danzig, dude.
Glenn Danzig's a hell
In
of a
several
frontman,
different
yeah.
eras too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Agreed,
his Misfit
agreed.
stuff, dude. The Sam Hain stuff.
I'm a huge
And the
Sam Hain
Danzig
fan.
stuff.
I'm a massive Danzig fan, and you're the one that got me into one of the first albums I ever received. He gave me a fucking cassette tape of Evil Live.
Nice.
Oh yeah, probably yeah.
Nice.
And like from that
Oh,
point
yeah.
on, I was just hooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought that at fucking Recycled, and
Yeah.
I couldn't believe they even had it there.
Yeah, and you like it wasn't even like I didn't even get the full cassette tape. Like he taped it for me,
Right.
And then gave me, and then I listened to Evil Live, and then I was like, not
That-
just a
this is
Misfits
it.
fan, but I was a Danzig fan from that point
That
on in
copy,
my life.
that copy was an OG like.
Oh
Copy.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it had the copy that I had. I made him a dub of it.
yeah.
But the copy that I had, when you flipped open the booklet, it said Jerry only and it had a phone number. And I dialed it, and like, it wasn't working anymore. But
Ah.
like,
That's awesome.
but I was like, what the, like whoever like had the fucking tape,
Uh-huh.
because it was from the fucking like mid '80s.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on their own little like Plan 9 label.
Yeah, it was Plan 9. It wasn't even Caroline or anything like that. You
Right.
know? And yeah, it was cool. I mean, man, I used to have a badass copy of fucking 12 Hits from Hell on vinyl. Too.
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
Bad divorces happen though.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Indeed they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Are we all divorced?
Indeed.
Good lord.
yeah.
This
So
is what
Karen's
happens.
not dating a musician, I guess.
Something about being unstable. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
God, we drank a lot of beer already.
You did drink a lot of beer
I
already,
can't-
and we're gonna drink more. So we are back. We are wrapping up the episode with an original thing that he's doing live, which we've never done before. Richard, thank you for coming out tonight, man.
Thanks
We've
for
been a
having
fucking
me, bro.
blast
It's
with you
been cool
guys.
as shit.
There are beer cans all over this fucking house. However, if you wait for our Christmas episode, we are going to do a thing where we wear fucking sweaters and then just drink our faces off. So,
So not unlike this situation.
not unlike
No.
this situation. You actually kind of ruined our Christmas episode, you dickhead. But anyway, I don't know what
That's going to be whiskey, though.
Yeah, that's going to be... We're drinking like
Totally
a giant
different.
bottle
Yeah,
of liquor, and
totally
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so tune into the Christmas episode. But this has been Richard Haskins. This has been kind of an unorthodox episode, but Richard is unorthodox. So he's going to play something live, which we've never done on this show before. So enjoy. What are you doing?
I wrote this song for my mom and she hates it. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. Hey, I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. Come on, Mom, just give it a try. Things will be better when you and me are high. You won't judge me and you'll put your feelings aside. And I promise you that you might like it. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. Come on, Mom, just give it a chance. Don't you know that it's only plants? Which means God put them here like He did. You and me. You and me. If that's what you believe. And we'll sit down and discuss the social commentary in the movie Terminator. And every time you cough, I'll laugh and slap your back as Black Sabbath plays Iron Man on the turntable. Oh, can't you see how much better both our lives could be? I'll teach you to roll a blunt, 'cause you taught me how to read. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. Hey, I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. She does. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. I wish my mom would smoke pot with me. Hey, I wish my mom would smoke pot from me.
See how I stepped on your shit?
This came from Master Tomo's Samurai Automotive.
Yep. This episode has been brought to you by CPS.
Richard Haskins, everybody.
Richard Haskins, everybody. We are Warlord Radio. We will see you next time. As always, fuck Mark V. Kearns.
Suck our collective dicks.
Suck our collective dicks.
You're listening to Warlord Radio Podcast. Please hit like and subscribe at the bottom.